we could fly. Now entering the Cup of Johanny zone, a one-woman show that discusses all the non-glamorous things that have to do with writing and getting a book out into the world. Enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Have a Cup of Johanny. Guess what? Johanny. So today on this episode, we're going to talk about procrastination and how that can hinder progress and can hinder progress in writing and can hinder progress in a lot of things. But we're going to talk about writing because that's what I'm doing here. So procrastination, right? What is procrastination? Let me look that up really quick before I give you that definition. And I'm not trying to insult anyone's intelligence here, but I'm pretty sure we all know what procrastination is, but I'm still going to give you this definition. So the procrastination is the action of delaying or postponing something. Right? So that is procrastination. And guess what? That's what I've been doing. So last time we spoke, I had gotten with a developmental editor. I have gotten the developmental editor's feedback, and I was implementing that feedback. And something happened while I was implementing that feedback, and I got overwhelmed. I got overwhelmed with a lot of things, right? And then my workflow stopped when I got overwhelmed. And then I threw other tasks on top of finishing the manuscript. And then I used that excuse as to why I haven't finished it. I should have finished this thing, like I want to say 2 months ago already, right? But like the definition say, I've been postponing it. I've been, and the way that I do it is, like I said, I throw other tasks on top of this task. So that way I don't get to do that task. And that's my excuse. So, what I started to do, hey, and this is me, I want to be completely transparent with you guys listening out there. And this is me putting it out there so that way I can be accountable for myself. And so that way I can have transparency. And so that way I have something to look back at and show myself and prove that, hey, this too I can overcome. I can go over this obstacle as well because there have been many others before, and this is another one, and this is another one that I will go over once again. So that is all. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. And then also, hopefully somebody out there can relate, or somebody hopefully, well, I don't want to say hopefully because I don't wish procrastination on no one. It's kind of an anxiety ridden kind of behavior. I don't wish that on anyone. But saying that, if you are, hopefully you can relate to this. Hopefully you're listening, or hopefully if you know somebody that is going through it, you can share this episode with them. And jump in the comments in here so that way you can talk to me about it, or give me some tips about it or something like that. And we can all learn together. So knowing what procrastination is, I was able to identify the behaviors that I'm doing that feeds that habit, that feeds that procrastination that I have. And whenever I talk about it with my friends, I describe myself as a recovering procrastinator. And I say that because it is a behavior I feel it is a behavior that will always stay with me. And it is a behavior that I will constantly have to be in the lookout for. So that way I can make sure that I don't self-sabotage, which I identify that not too long ago as to what was going on, what was keeping me back. So I did I paid for a virtue map, a course that helps with procrastination, and then I'm also doing a little bit of cognitive behavioral therapy as well. There's an app for that. Bloom, I believe, is the name. And then I started doing that. And these two things have helped me to identify the behavior that I am displaying, that I am doing. And I'm telling you, just identifying the behavior. Let me tell you how important and how powerful that can be. I feel like sometimes I hide things from myself, or sometimes I lie to myself. But when I identify that behavior, it's such an eye opener, because I am able to now see that behavior as it plays out in my life. And it helps me to be more self aware of it. So that way I can snap and be like to myself, hey, you're self-sabotaging, you're procrastinating, let's get back into something that is more productive, right? Because I have goals, friends, I have goals. I said I'm gonna be a 1 year book author until I retire, right? While I'm in the military, I'm going to be a 1 year, one book a year author. Sorry, English is my second language, so sometimes I get those two things switch. But I want to be a book a year author, right? While I'm in the military, and push a book each year, and then once I retire, push two or three. I haven't decided yet, because I'm not there yet. But I set that goal last year for myself, and this is something that I want to do, because writing is something that is not it's not work for me. It's something that I enjoy. So my goal is that when I retire, I am doing something that I enjoy doing while earning, having a secondary income. Now I know I'm not, this is not nothing that I'm going to get rich, with, or something like that. But it's nice to do something and have an earning for it. And it's even better to do something that you don't feel like it's work, because you love it so much, and still get an earning out of it. So, hey, writing is that thing for me. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to publish it, because I'm gonna be my biggest cheerleader out there. So I'm gonna publish my work. And so yeah, so when I felt like I was stuck, and it's like this feeling of being stuck in a rut, and knowing that you are on the race. I'm going to use some some running metaphors here, right? You are there, right? You are in the race. You have gotten your packet, you have the number on your shirt, you are a mile into your half marathon, right? But you notice that you have stopped, not just walking, not just shuffling, because doing the airborne shuffle, like I like to say, because your muscles are a little tight or whatnot. And let's face it, it's 1 mile. Why would our muscles be tight at 1 mile, right? They wouldn't. So you are just not moving, and then you see other people, right, passing you. And then you have to question yourself and be like, what's going on? Why am I not moving? And then that is exactly what happened to me. I want to say, like, a month ago, I started just getting these signals from my mind and my body that, hey, you said you was gonna do something and you are not doing it. What's up, Johnny? What's going on? And yeah, so I had to find myself some help. Like I said, I did the virtue map, I did the bloom, and I've identified, listeners, that like I said before, I put a task on top of another task, so that way I can ignore that one task. But the reason why I do this, and this is very important, I found out the reason. The reason why I do it is several things, right? I am overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed, or I feel like the when I accomplish that task, it's not going to be perfect. Therefore, why would I complete it, right? If it's not going to be perfect. So once I figure that out, and once again, identification and then understanding that is so important for self awareness. And it's so important to be proactive. So that way, now that you know what you do, and why you do it, then you're able to stop it if you so wish, right? If that is what you want to do. So I am overwhelmed because I haven't broken it down into smaller steps that I can easily achieve and not feel overwhelmed over, right? And I don't want to complete it because I feel like they're not going to be perfect because I have this impossible mindset that things should be perfect. And let me ask that question. What is perfect? Is anything out there perfect? My brain says yes, but I'm going to tell you right now that no. No. Especially oh, those are my puppies. Especially written work, right? Written work is not going to be perfect. It's always, it doesn't matter how many, editors, if even traditional publishing, you're gonna find some errors in there. And hold on, because these puppies right here. So let me tell you, there are cats outside, and these dogs, for whatever reason, they just want to bark at the cats. Mind you, I have two cats inside the house that they don't bark at, but I guess the outside cats you know, are persona non grata. So that's what you're listening. Okay, so where were we? Perfection, right? So I have this tendency to be a perfectionist, and it's unrealistic. That's what I wanted to say. Thanks to the puppies for getting that word out of my head. So I have this tendency to be a perfectionist, and that is also what is aiding my procrastination tendencies, or my procrastinator tendencies. So knowing that, right? How I've been going about making sure that I don't do those things is by John, please, by breaking down the tasks. And that's how I can make the task less intimidating and less overwhelming for me. John really wants to be heard on this podcast right now. And also, by telling myself that nothing really is perfect, and finding proofs of imperfections and how it's still okay. And let me tell you, I've read some excellent books out there, and I found some typos or things of that nature in there. And guess what? Didn't take me out of the story. Still enjoyed it. Still read it, reread it sometimes, right? Still bought the book and kept it and recommended it to other people, because imperfections did not hinder my ability to enjoy that work. I still enjoyed it. So when I tell myself those things, I am able to combat, I should say, those tendencies that I already have and that I have nourished for a very long time. So, so yeah, so that's what I've been doing to combat that. And saying that, as I'm doing that, I'm also writing. I'm putting myself in the chair and I'm rewriting. I'm on chapter 22 right now. Yes, I am on chapter 22 right now. And that is the second act, listeners. I am on the second act. I am in there in the second act. Not starting it, I am in the second act, in the fun and games. And sometimes that can be overwhelming because that is the John. Hey, one of these days, I'm going to invest in a booth so that way, yeah. So, yeah. So, I'm in the second act. I am in the second act. Okay. I brought John over. Maybe just if he's on my lap, he is able to be quiet because John is the ringleader. He is the smallest dog, but he is the ringleader. So then when he starts barking, then he gets the other two riled up. So maybe if he's right here on my lap, maybe he won't bark. Huh? Yeah. All right. So, like I was saying, I'm in the second act and I am on chapter 22, which is great. And I'm just getting after. And the way that I break it down is I tell myself during the weekday, say, just write for 10 minutes. during the weekends, just put 100 words down. And what happens is 10 minutes ends up being sometimes 20 minutes. 100 words ends up being sometimes 942 words, or sometimes over 1,000 words. And that's how I'm able to not get too overwhelmed with the tasks. And like I said, Act Two is a beast. Act Two is the longest act of the story. So I'm really being meticulous with my mind and my behavior right now, just to make sure that I curve it so that way I can accomplish those things that I want to accomplish, right? And this is something that I always say when it comes to motivation. We tell our mind, tell our body what to do. Our body doesn't tell us what it wants to do. And so that way you can get after the things that you want to do. um, and I got this from the book, David Goggins' book, the one that he has out. It was very motivational for me. And some of the things I was able to relate to. And how he says that hey, the mind will give up before the body does. So if you get your mind in sync with what you want to do, then you'll be surprised at all the things that you can accomplish. And I'm a big believer in that, because I've seen it. Being in the military, I've seen people do some extraordinary things, right? That usually you don't see things like that happening, right? But why did they do it? Because they told themselves to do it, because they found no way out other than to do it. And that's their mind telling their bodies, this is what you're going to do, and you're going to do it. And yeah, so I'm a big believer in that. And that's how I'm getting after this step, this phase that I'm on when it comes to the manuscript. And also, so the other thing is just perfectionism, right? And like I was saying before with you guys, is just understanding that nothing out there is perfect, and understanding and accepting that risk of a certain percentage of errors in the manuscript at the end. And understand that I'm gonna get better the more that I do this as well. Because I have this fear that it's like, I'm gonna publish this. No one is gonna love it. It's gonna be horrible. And and I keep telling myself over and over, hey, this is your first one. It's gonna be okay. You're still gonna make it the best that you can. The second one will be better. The third one will be better, and so forth. And I do have to tell myself that. And I do have to be my own cheerleader. And I have to be my own realistic cheerleader, so that way my mind can accept that. It can accept that pep talk that I'm giving it. Because if not, my own head is gonna say BS. That's not true. So that's how I'm getting after those two steps. And I'm telling you, procrastination is a beast. And this is going to be a lifelong journey that I embark. And it's going to be lifelong work that I will have to continue to get after and do, because writing is something that is ingrained in me, writing and reading. And I feel like I'm at a certain point in my life where I want to give back. And I see myself on the brink of retiring from the military. I'm on my way out. 5 years, I'll be out. So I, I I want to do something that I am putting my mark out there into the world, and I am helping others. And Kern Carter, I follow him on Instagram. He said something. He said that writing is a legacy game, and I think that encapsulates how I feel about writing and why I want to do that, because this is my legacy. This is me telling stories that are important for me. And they are important for me because of representation, and because of the lessons ingrained in there that are important for families, for multicultural families, for blended families, for non-traditional families, which is what I experienced as a child. And these are books that I want them to live on, past me. and look and search and find readers that those stories, right, that it can help. And it's almost like the book will have wings after I'm gone, and it will search for those kids that just need that light in their lives, because maybe their lives are a bit too clouded right now, or they feel like they're in a tunnel that they can't get out, and the book will serve as that flashlight that can help them find their way out, or at the very least that rincon or that closet where they can go and find a little bit of joy, which is how I used books growing up. It's just for that light at the end of the tunnel, and also that bit of joy in a tough day when I was going through it. And that's what I want to leave behind. That's the kind of legacy that I want to leave behind. So while I'm here combating procrastination and self-sabotage, I got to tell myself that, so that way I can continue on with the work. So once again, thank you so much for listening, and I am so sorry that I haven't been doing this as often as I should. Life got in the way, procrastination got in the way, but here I am, getting after it once again, and hoping to touch someone out there that may need to listen to this episode. And if you do, um, I am so glad you found me. And keep listening and share it. Go ahead and connect with me in the comments, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Oh, we could fly. Oh, we could fly.
Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the show. See you on the next episode. Bye.
Oh, we could fly.